Hi everyone, it's Ardith, and I'm here with a primary color alcohol ink background that I used to show off one of the new Essentials by Ellen dyes. I started with 3 colors of Copic ink refills. I do have a few alcohol inks, but I've got so many more refills, I often find it easier to find the color I'm looking for. I've already put a couple of drops of each color into this cheap little dollar store palette. I've got a glass cup with some blending solution in it, and I've got these plastic pipettes that help with the application of the inks. I forgot one item, which you'll see in a moment. I decided to try something new, and I added a couple of drops of blender solution to each color before I started. My theory here was that it would help the alcohol ink move better on the paper. I started with the pink ink and I put a drop of it onto my panel of Yupo paper. I added a bit of blending solution and realized I didn't have my air puffer out. I used this to blow the ink around and save myself from getting a headache with a straw, but in the real world, it's used to clean camera lenses. It's inexpensive and a great addition to an alcohol ink setup. I used the puffer to blow the pink ink around until I was pretty happy with the coverage, adding blending solution when I wanted to move the color a bit further. Then I moved on to the yellow. Now I'm still figuring this stuff out, and one of the things I learned here was that I found it easier to turn the paper than to try and move the air puffer around or try to use it in my other hand. Also, sometimes the ink moves more than you thought or wanted, and sometimes less. Just add some blender solution to keep it moving. And I should tell you that this panel is not the panel that got used in the final card. Every single time you play with these inks, you'll get a different result. You'll see that the one I used for the card has less color on it and less blending. I love how the pink and yellow blended here to create a really distinct orange. Then I moved on to the blue. When I finally finished the panel, I used one more little trick that adds so much interest. I took a cheap number 4 paintbrush that I've designated for alcohol ink. I dipped it into the blending solution, and then I tapped it over the panel to reactivate the alcohol inks and leave some lighter spots. To finish the card, I cut the Good Times die from the new photo frame set out of a black cardstock circle. I backed it with some white cardstock to make the letters legible, and I popped it up over the center of the ink blending. I trimmed the panel and backed it onto a black card base for some contrast. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm enjoying learning how to use alcohol inks to make some fun backgrounds. Shopping links are below and on my blog. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.